Hello everyone, it is Jayden and welcome to The Alpha, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button on the video, and if you enjoy my commentary and myself truly as always, be sure to tap that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya. I didn't really know this made a lot of media and traction until I was looking at my daily talk shows, sports talk shows for today. And for some reason, this was like the talk of the town. Originally, when this stuff all went down Saturday, I didn't even originally see it. But obviously, Mr. Dillion Gabriel made a very controversial quote that raised a lot of ears in the media space because we all know most of the mass media is very pro Shedeur Sanders at the moment in Cleveland. So Dillion Gabriel has a lot going up against him at the moment. So he, had a pretty decent performance. I mean, I wouldn't even say decent, pretty good. Had a fumble that was technically his fault. That was just miscommunication between the running back and the quarterback there. But he may have had one bad pick. Terrible. Kevin Stefanski came out post game and said that somebody wasn't in the right spot because you had two wide receivers pretty much in the same vicinity running the same route, and they were 2-3 yards within each other. Dillion Gabriel throws it pretty much essentially right between them. It gets picked off. He throws a pick six. But outside of that pick six, Dillion Gabriel looked pretty good. You can argue that his performance was maybe on par, maybe just slightly less better than Shedeur, but like one performance, well, Shedeur's performance wasn't drastically better than what Dillion Gabriel was able to put on tape in his debut at the quarterback position in the preseason. So I did some digging. I've watched it over and over, and we know the headline for this topic. Did Dillion Gabriel take a shot at Shedeur Sanders? So we're just going to watch the clip together. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna dissect it because I had a very hard time just trying to find this clip. I really did. I was sitting there like, okay, are people just trying to just disclose this clip from me and from the audience so they just don't have access to the clip? I'm gonna try to find this clip for the longest time. I was able to find it on the Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland Radio's official Twitter homepage. So let's get into exactly what Mr. Dillion Gabriel had to say. So this is his original interview during mid-game after he had been subbed out.
It's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing. It's just part of it.
All right, let's watch this again. Let's watch this again. I know I probably have some audio issues, but he essentially said, and he made this quote saying that there's entertainers and then there's competitors.
It's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors, and I totally understand that. And my job is to compete, and that's what I'm focused on doing.
All right. So when people see this quote, they're going to automatically just sit and think that, oh my gosh, he's dissing Shedeur Sanders because we don't have full context of the interview. I've tried and went and find like the actual question that she asked Dillion Gabriel. I've looked at articles. I cannot even quite figure out exactly what the reporter asked Dillion Gabriel for him to even make this comment. But we're going to get to another clip here to where, Dillion Gabriel pretty much in his post-game interview tried to backtrack what he said and just said, oh, this wasn't a shot at Shedeur, and we're just going to get to it here.
What do you mean? What do you mean? There's a quote that you said, there's entertainers and competitors, and I'm a competitor, and I understand there's entertainers. What context was that quote given?
All you in this room are entertainers, and you have a job to do, and I respect it, right? And I'm a competitor, so I have a job to do as well. And I think just understanding that, that's how I've lived by, and I've said that multiple times. So definitely not a new quote, but something that I definitely said.
So you were referring to media as the entertainers?
Yeah, I just said.
Okay. Okay, I'm kind of getting what he's trying to say, because now after I'm hearing his post game quote, it's kind of clicking in my head just a little bit. But let's just listen to this final clip right here, and then we'll dissect what everything happened, what all went on.
First off, I'm all about our team, you know what I mean, and each other. I would never think that, and I've said it before. That's why it's interesting. But for me, I've explained it. Entertainers are you all, competitor. That's what I am, and all my teammates, and we both have jobs to do. That's it. First off.
All right, so that is what Mr. Dillion Gabriel had to say. So just to give my 2 cents of it, now that I've heard it and I was able to potentially just dissect what Dillion Gabriel had to say with his competitor's comment, I want to say maybe that the reporter possibly asked him something regarding Shedeur Sanders, and maybe that wanted to call the media people entertainers because they were asking him a question, pretty much probably trying to put him down and make him say something controversial for them so they could take the headline and run with it in a way, for views and entertainment purposes. But he was saying that he's a competitor and it's all about competition. It's not about the entertainment. Maybe that's what he was trying to say. But I don't have full context of the quote. I've tried to look for the actual question that she asked, and, Shannon Sharp and a lot of people, when it first happened, they just went and ran with it and was like, oh, this is a shot at Shedeur Sanders because, we know what Shedeur has to offer at the quarterback position. It's more than just competitiveness when it comes to Shedeur Sanders' game. It is the entertainment value that he has. We know the on-field antics that he has, the type of persona that he brings to the game. He got it from his dad. Touchdown celebrations with the little, with the watch celebration, all of this going on, the swagger on the field. There is entertainment when it comes to that. And that is what something that Shedeur Sanders puts into his overall game. So, when you have a question like this that the reporter asked you and you make that type of comment, everybody is going to sit there and insinuate that you are going to be talking about Shedeur Sanders. Because in Cleveland right now, everything is a Shedeur Sanders soap opera. Shout out to the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. I got that one from Jerry. But everything's just... Cleveland is just a big reality TV show at the moment because of Shedeur Sanders. Because us audience members, people who are invested into this topic, are going to sit here and say, what is going to happen in Cleveland? Are they going to name Shedeur Sanders the quarterback too? Because the Cleveland Browns came out today and officially announced that Joe Flacco is going to be the week 1 starter. So, and given if you're been keeping track of this, we all knew this. You didn't sign Joe Flacco to make him the backup week 1. You signed him knowing that he was going to be the starter. Because if Joe Flacco wasn't going to be the starter, why would you have him there? I think Joe Flacco's up in age, high 30s, low 40s. I don't even know if he's 40 at the moment. Who knows? Who cares? That's irrelevant right now. But the point is, he's old. Okay? So him being there for a mentor role for him probably is a huge waste of his time. So if Joe Flacco is going to be there, he's wanting the quarterback 1 job. But he got it. But who's going to get a QB2 job? We've seen the depth charts. We've seen Kenny Pickett's been a quarterback 2. Dillion Gabriel was quarterback 3, and Shedeur's been quarterback 4. It's been like that for the past 2 weeks. It's just, this is all the things that are going on in Cleveland. So when they see a quote like this, the media, we're going to take a quote and run with it. Now, I'm not going to be that individual. I look through stuff with an extra lens of eyes. I didn't see this quote and just automatically thought, Dillion Gabriel dissed Shedeur Sanders. Oh my God, let me talk about it. No, I waited to watch the whole interview because I wanted full context, because I don't know Dillion Gabriel as a person. He pretty much got late on the scene when he was in college. Wasn't a real well-known guy until he went to Oklahoma and, transferred to Oregon and was able to make him and solidify himself a spot in the NFL and play pretty good to have a high draft stock. But he just reads me as a person who probably wouldn't say a controversial topic about Shedeur Sanders and about his own teammate. I don't know that to be sure. I'm just going off what I said, what I'm seeing so far. I mean, he's not a very, and another argument that you could say with the interviews that he has, he's not a very, he's not a very, talkable guy. He's, he looks like he's very to himself. He's not very entertaining to talk to. He's very stale. Take that as you will. But yeah, let's just go back to the very first. Just I got to watch this again because it's just, I'm trying to give the man the benefit of the doubt here, guys.
There's a quote that you said, there's entertainers and competitors, and I'm a competitor, and I understand there's entertainers. What context was that quote given?
All you in this room are entertainers, and you have a job to do, and I respect it, right? And I'm a competitor, so I have a job to do as well. And I think just understanding that, that's how I've lived by, and I've said that multiple times. So definitely not a new quote, but something that I've definitely said.
So you were referring to media as the entertainer?
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay. I don't know, y'all. We're just going to leave this one up for debate. I don't want to just sit here and cast aspersions on this guy and just make him out to be, a horrible human being making this comment. I'm sure, and I'm not going to, this is just me, just from the outside looking in. I'm not saying that he feels this way. I'm just throwing out the possibility of it. He's probably tired of all the Shedeur crap. Dillion Gabriel's got a lot riding against him right now. He's trying to make a roster. He's competing against a guy who is loved by everybody. There's not many people out there that despise Shedeur Sanders at all. So a lot of people are rooting against Dillion Gabriel. So internally, he probably has some just resentment for Shedeur Sanders in his heart, more than likely. Again, I'm not accusing him of this. I'm just making an observation here as a possibility of what he may be feeling like. I'm not saying he directly feels this way. So when he's making a comment like this, he may have meant it. Who knows? It's just the possibility that he meant it because of all the type of just stuff that he's seeing on a daily basis in the media about Shedeur Sanders, their own media team, the Cleveland beat writers and radio hosts in Cleveland, Tony Grossi and everybody. So it's just a lot for Dillion Gabriel to, he's having to deal with all this, and he's trying to just, I know he's trying to say the right thing, but at the same time, I think he's just trying to, make himself not look weak and just take up for himself pretty much. I respect it. But I just don't want to go out on a limb here and just say he absolutely just diss Shedeur Sanders. Was it overall the right and smart comment at the end of the day? And that was my final note after watching it, period. Was it a very smart thing to say? It wasn't. All you had to say is, whatever she asked you, do the Bill Belichick interview thing where it's just, yeah, I had a, just pretty much do a 180 on the question. Instead of just directly answering it, just do a Bill Belichick and be like, yeah, I had a good game today. Team played well. That's all you had to say. You had to say nothing about there being entertainers and things of that nature. If you want to take a personal shot at the media, just do it at a different time. I mean, do it after the fact where the dust settles on all of this Shedeur Sanders stuff. You could have done it then. Maybe even in the post-game interview, you should have done it in a more non-controversial manner. to where you didn't say it like right after you were just taken out of the game, and she was pretty much just giving you a one-on-one interview about your debut, and you're just, you're making it seem like, yeah, that's what a real competitor is supposed to look like on the football field, not an entertainer like Shedeur Sanders, because that's what people made it out to be. I wasn't the individual, because when I first saw this, I was like, let me see this. It's kind of weird for a quarterback just to absolutely just demolish his teammate like that. So this is just a big question mark for me. I'm not saying that he didn't diss Shedeur Sanders, and I'm not going to say that he did. We're just going to leave in a happy medium just here, just for Dillion Gabriel's sake, because he left the pretty much gray area for me personally, because I can't really take a side. I can't totally say that he dissed Shedeur Sanders, and I can't totally say that he didn't, because part of me in my brain right now, I'm just thinking about it, it kind of just don't make sense what he said when it pertains to him saying the media are entertainers, just because, and this is just because of this. I don't have full context of what the interviewer, the reporter, actually asked Dillion Gabriel. I don't know. I'm trying to find it. If anybody is watching this and you find it, please just link it to me. I have not been able to find the full question that the reporter asked him, so I don't have the capabilities to just sit here and just choose a side, because it's just a gray area there to where you can leave it up. You just can't choose a side, because at the end of the day, I don't know if his comment is so egregious to the point to where, okay, he's dissing Shedeur Sanders, or if he's got a good point in which, he technically is right. We are entertainers. Our job as media is to take something somebody says and run with it and try and make it entertaining and try to stir up some controversy. I mean, that's how we, make a living here. I mean, essentially, this is what we do. Okay. So I don't know, essentially, I can't take a side here. We have a little quote here, a little comment. Shedeur needs to be traded. They're trying to get his value up in preseason to get good value for him. You're not wrong, Merc Squad. You're absolutely not wrong. And this is something that we can take away from the Cleveland Browns as well. You got 5 quarterbacks. You have Joe Flacco, which is obviously he's starting already. You have Shedeur Sanders, you have Dillion Gabriel, you have Kenny Pickett, and you have the guy who should have never made the Pro Bowl. I still don't know why he even made the Pro Bowl. Lord Jesus, I can't think of his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He was the backup, Tyler Huntley. There we go. Jesus, I couldn't think of his name. So Tyler Huntley, we know Tyler Huntley is there. Somebody's got to go. Somebody's getting traded. And there was an article that came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago that pretty much stated, like, yeah, somebody is getting traded. It's either going to be Dillion Gabriel, it's going to be Shedeur Sanders. It's one or the two. Now, me personally, I'm not the hugest Dillion Gabriel fan. I'm just not. It has nothing to do with the comment that he's made. I'm not, casting this against him. No, before all this even happened, I've been very on, Shedeur Sanders should be the guy. Because I've been on the high horse saying that Shedeur Sanders should have been one of the first 3 quarterbacks drafted. Definitely should have been drafted ahead of Tyler Shuck. Okay, I respected Cam Ward. I got it. Even to a certain degree, even though it was still just a little, maybe just a little egregious. I got the Jackson Dart thing. I get it. You want to get your guy, trade up and you get him. I respected it 100%. But I think overall, just from the tangibles that I've seen, although I've said in many videos past, you guys can go look it up. I have said that Shedeur Sanders needs to just clean up some things off the field, just for me personally. But just on the field intangibles, he throws a better football in my opinion. He feels like he commands the offense better. He looks poised in the pocket. He just looks like he plays the part. He has the body frame. And it's always for me. And I've been and it's just sometimes when you can't truly explain stuff, it's always about the eye test. I've always been a fan of the eye test. Sometimes you just can't really explain why one is better than the other. It's just off the eye test. When I watch Shedeur Sanders versus when I watch Dillion Gabriel, it just looks like Shedeur's the guy. It just looks like Shedeur's the guy. So that's just me. Now, Dillion Gabriel, I was very happy with what I saw from him in his preseason debut. Outside of I'm not going to totally kill him for the fumble and the interception. The interception is, two receivers were 3 yards within each other. Okay, one was here, and the DB literally split the middle between them and picked off the pass. I'm not going to kill Dillion Gabriel for that. He still shouldn't have thrown the ball, but I'm not going to kill him for it. And even the fumble, running back, who knows? The running back was probably being too antsy, probably cut a little too wide. Who knows? We're not going to kill Dillion Gabriel for that. We're just going to give him the benefit of just overall from of Jaydens lens. He played pretty darn good. Threw a good football. Statistically, he was better than Shedeur, just yardage wise. Obviously, he had 2 turnovers, 0 touchdowns, 2 turnovers, and Shedeur had 2 touchdowns and 0 turnovers. That's a massive, difference. TDs weigh a whole lot more than yardage to me. TD passes. Either way, whatever you want to mix it. They both had pretty good debuts to me. So essentially, yeah, Merc Squad, somebody's going to get traded. Somebody is absolutely going to be traded. But overall, I think I'm pretty much done with this topic. I pretty much got everything that I wanted to say. Y'all let me know down in the comments. Are y'all like pro Dillion Gabriel in this comment, or are y'all pro Shedeur? Did you think that Dillion Gabriel dissed Shedeur Sanders, or did you just think he was dissing the media? Like I said, I don't know. I don't have access to the full report, the reporter's question that she asked him. I don't know. I've been trying to find it. I could not find it. But again, the way that Dillion Gabriel just said it is just still off-putting for me. I get what he's trying to say because he does have a point, media are entertainers, but still just in the context of how he said it, it just don't sit right with me to a certain degree. I just don't know, why was it then that you would make the comment about the media? Just then in a mid-game interview. If you said something like that post-game when somebody asked you a question regarding Shedeur, I would understand, but just mid-game after you just got taken out and, it's a little off-putting for me. But I want to know all of your comments down below.